Yes, as I walk through the uncanny valley of death, you shall fear no evil, for I am that evil.
Welcome to Uncanny Valley. Today we're talking about the Silent Hill movie. This is an interesting movie. I don't know. I have thoughts. I don't know how intensive they are, but what do you think about this?
I think this is debatably the best video game adaptation, barring the OG live action Super Mario Bros. Movie, because that's an underrated gem. But as far as 2000s locky not great horror films go, this is the one that has the most aura. I would say the set design, fuck, sound design, not from this film, from a video game, still fuck. Lore, I think we change it in an interesting way, but unfortunately, men children refuse to have a level conversation about that on the internet. I think it's,
I'm
I think
curious how
it's
they
an under.
change it.
I okay. My knowledge of the lore isn't huge for the first game. I know a good bit about the second and the third. The first one, some some people on YouTube have helped me the last couple of days, but I'll know enough to point out when things are different.
Okay,
Oh,
that's helpful. I don't have much awareness of the games in general. I've never really played any of them. I'm not even sure I've seen much gameplay. I meant to go out of my way to seek it out, but it's been a
that's
busy
what I
week.
was gonna. Yeah, but that's what I was gonna think. Like, you're a horror fan. I thought at some point you would have watched like a video essay on the backstory of Silent Hill 2 and like the meaning of the monsters and that. I feel like it's so much of a horror staple that it's weird that you don't know too much about it.
I think that's the thing is I am confident I'd like playing the games, so I don't want to learn too much about them, but at this point, I haven't gone out of my way to play them. So even though I'd
Yeah.
still like to, I'm okay knowing what the differences are.
Alright, well, hot take, you probably won't enjoy playing them because they play like shit. You're really
Oh,
there for
okay.
the vibes. It's a vibe
That helps
based
to know.
situation.
Okay.
you
Just
get
like the movie a
you get
little.
yeah, you get the lights off and you listen to the music and you get like in tune with the vibe. But
The
play
music is so
wise,
good. I've listened to some of the music in the past couple months, actually, from
oh, the
Silent Hill 2.
soundtrack's phenomenal. I was even in work today. I got a hold of the speaker and I was playing the Silent Hill album. But problem is, if you try to listen to those albums, say on Spotify, got every game has like one incredible hour long, like weird ambient album with the odd like J emo rock songs, and then you just have like 2 minute interludes of industrial banging. Where I'm like, this is not a song.
Oh,
You occasionally just get one where it's like a little noise going. You just
well,
I
that's
don't
the
know why it doesn't
vibes.
just yeah, but it's not the vibes when you're trying to like have your little solemn look out on the bus window with your earphones in. It's like this robot getting deep throated directly into your brain.
That's somebody's vibe.
Yeah. That's somebody's vibe. I don't think it should be your vibe in public.
The thing I'll start
You-
with is I do know that Silent Hill generally is about trauma, and it's interesting to me that this movie starts with somebody going, I know our daughter has repressed trauma. Let's bring her back to the place where it's from and awaken it. That sounds like not the best idea psychologically.
I mean, kind of. The second game is definitely the focus on that. Three carries a lot of it with it. The first one, this is another thing fans don't like to admit. The first one really is just it's a spooky town with some spooky shit going on. Like there's little bits and bobs that you can connect monsters to certain things, but for the most part, that's really a Silent Hill 2 addition to the series. Even in Silent
So
Hill
this
2 is a strange one. Because Silent Hill 2 is the one that like I feel like most people know of. It's the famous one, man staring solemnly in the bathroom window. It's almost see in the vein that Resident Evil 3 isn't really a sequel to Resident Evil 2, it's more just like, and the team also wanted to make this. That's kind of what
right.
Silent Hill 2 is. Silent Hill 3 is more of Silent Hill 2 than Silent Hill 2 is, which is going to get very complicated if we decide to bring up the movie Silent Hill 2 at any point during this.
I before I ask my question, I want to get out in front of this and tell the listeners that both of us are coming down with something horrible, so our throats may act up at some point during this, and we're sorry. We're doing our best.
That's it.
My
Because,
question was,
yeah,
this movie is based on the first game, the
this
story?
movie, yeah, it's based on the first game, but it has some monsters from the second game, which is okay. People are like, "Oh, Christoph doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that these monsters are specifically supposed to be for these people." I think they underestimate my man Christoph here because I do think the ones that he takes do work in the narrative that he's trying to make. Like if you separate it from Silent Hill 2, which again men children can't do, but if we just hold on a sec, I think it works because you have Pyramid Head, and see this is where I'm going to get caught out. I don't know if the bobblehead nurses are in Silent Hill 1, but I would assume not. They're definitely in 2.
What's weird to me about the nurses is that there is a nurse in Alyssa's story, but she doesn't wind up being one of the bobblehead nurses.
Because she's a character from Silent Hill 1, the video game.
Okay, that makes sense.
But her story is different. It's like it's supposed to be this film's version. We'll get to her when we get to her.
Yeah, that's a ways in.
So wait
So we're
out.
starting with just with the family in the forest, basically, right? They're chasing their daughter who's run away.
Yeah, Rose is giving her best Ozzy Osbourne impression.
What do you mean?
It's Sharon. Sharon.
Oh yeah.
Names her child Sharon. Yeah, just put that out there. Who in this would have been 2006. She's 9. Who in 1997's calling their daughter Sharon?
That's a good question. Unless they adopted her with that name.
Could do. Okay, we're just going to bounce about because I feel like it'll be easier if we bounce about if we're talking about games and movies. Do you really think the way that she gets given into that orphanage would have went, oh yeah, Sharon's a vibe? Like I feel like surely you choose a Christian name.
True. Yeah, like Matthew. Matthew for your
Yeah.
daughter.
Or
Uh,
Jacob.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. They just named me after my birth mother when I was adopted.
I was named after a dog that died. So I feel like that's a
Wow.
bad omen.
That sucks. Yeah.
There's some bad juju about that name.
You don't want that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh, before anything, maybe some context I have. I don't have a lot of information about it, but I don't know if you're aware of Centralia, Pennsylvania in America.
I do not know. Well, I don't know the
There is
name.
a
Oh, and I might know
there's a
what you're
real
talking about.
town in America where there are coal fires still burning underground from like the 50s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, and
Okay. Yeah.
my man Christoph took a little bit of that from, which I think's cool. I think it works well.
I think that's very cool. Yeah, I like that. And it makes it
Yeah,
creepier because that's an element that exists in reality.
well, I don't think the 24-hour app rain is really part of it either. Hold on, I'm pulling up my notes before I get lost in the sauce. Okay, we're good to go.
American Sean Bean, we can talk about American Sean Bean for a second while you're pulling up your notes. That's a weird
Are we talk?
choice.
Are we even talking about Sean Bean? At one point, I put down one note for his side story, and then just didn't bother to put anything else because it was all nothing.
Well, if we're not talking about that side story at all, because it is pretty nothing. I like that Kim Coates shows up, the actor playing the detective.
I know him only as Ig from Sons of Anarchy. I can't think what
That's what
else
I
I may have
looked up.
seen.
Is that's his big role?
It's his big role. Um, Sean Bean's whole story isn't really supposed to be in this film. Higher ups force Christoph to put man in the story, which is why whenever you cut to him, he's either not doing nothing or he's learning stuff that you have already learned. And then
Interesting.
by the end of the movie, he's asleep on a couch.
That's one of my favorite things about the story of this is that everyone with agency is a woman. There's no men that really control any part of the narrative.
No, because that was a thing we brought up in the making of. Christoph was talking about how he was writing the script like a lot more closely to being Harry from Silent Hill 1. And at one point, he just realised, wait, this just makes more sense as a woman. He said, Harry's written like a mother. The story has a mother focus. And I actually pulled a banger quote from him, if I can find it in this list. Yeah, who cares if Harry's wearing pants or a skirt? Was his exact. So he's woke as well. You have to love a little woke
Okay.
Frenchman.
Yeah, that's rad. I like
It seems like it was a big fight for him to have only women characters in this. Can we pause? Not played Silent Hill 1. Harry isn't a character. He's a walking cardboard plank. I don't get why people were so up in arms about not having Harry. Harry is nothing. He's literally just a little flat sprite with some lanky legs that moves about.
he is the lead of the first game though.
Yes, he is the main character.
Okay.
Character is a stretch. I feel you're very much more just supposed to be like it's a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's an audience surrogate. We don't give him too
Audience
much.
surrogate. Yeah, sort of
Yeah.
a window into the world more than a player in the story.
Why would you change the story into a different character that makes more sense narratively when you can have the man? We need the man, Chris.
Sounds like
I
executives really thought that too, which is stupid.
think a woman can fight monsters. I'm trying to think, has there been a woman that said, there is? No, hold on, Silent Hill 3. The game would have been out. The game would have been well out by then. It's like people's favourite. Well, people say James is a favourite protagonist, but it's only because we've only played Silent Hill 2. I don't know, I'm pulling this up.
And so
Wait,
James will be
you
the protagonist of this new movie coming out.
James will be the protagonist of the new one because obviously it's a adaptation of the second game, but it's very strange because we already have the sequel to this movie, which is an adaptation of the third game, but not good.
Revelations is an adaptation of the third game.
Yeah, see, I was saying earlier about how the third Silent Hill game is more of a sequel to the first Silent Hill game. They just
Okay,
skipped two.
weird.
You can see how it's getting confusing already.
Yeah. Huh.
And this film's not getting marketed, so it's not going to do well. But if
I didn't
I
even know
am
about it
ever
until you told me about it.
that's I'm pretty sure I even mentioned to you, I was like, yeah, with the new one coming out, I want to do that.
You did, but still, without you mentioning it, I would have had no awareness. It's not its fault that I forgot between then and now.
See, this is the level of excitement that the general public is feeling for Return to Silent Hill.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Which sucks because
Although
I
I like that
love
it's the same director.
yeah, I love Christoph, and it seems like this film it was his decision to make, and he went to Konami himself to be like, I want to make this, and I'm sure it's what he did for his new one as well. So he's an actual Chad. I love this man. Even in his interviews, he seems so friendly.
Okay, that's nice. There's one scene. If we're jumping around, do you mind if I just talk quickly about the bobblehead nurse scene?
Sure, we'll just yeah. I don't think anyone's
Just do a
listening to us
scrambled
rather than
eggs
watching a movie.
episode on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Uh,
Go for it.
that's the only scene where I don't like the directing, and I still like maybe the blocking of the scene. It's creepy, but the only thing I don't like about it is that someone gives Rose the flashlight and says, "You need this flashlight. It's pitch black down there." And then the scene has a lot of ambient lighting. So even when she turns the flashlight off, you can see a lot that's going on. I thought that was a little bit of a failing of the director.
Yeah, but if set's that beautiful, you don't really want to be covering that, do you? Like, I wouldn't be covering it. I'd be making sure you saw that shit front and center every single day.
I guess, but that's part of the horror thing is you can have the prop and even if you need to show the whole thing, show it only at the very end of the scene or sequence.
Fun fact: those nurse suits are actually designed to look like white skin. It's just very hard to see in the actual movie, but you can notice it behind the scenes. It's kind of like
Oh,
if you
weird.
played Elden,
Elden
you
Ring,
haven't played. Although there's a boss in that, but his entire cloak is made of stitched together skin. It's very similar to that, but they had to, because they were trying to replicate the nurses, they had to stick it to their body using elastic and Velcro to give them the curvature they were looking for. It's actually a
oh,
really
okay.
simple outfit as well. It's just like a very basic paper mache mask and a lot of body paint. And it looks
Interesting.
gnarly. It looks so good.
Yeah. Oh, they look great.
Is that your
Are these nurses a
standout?
bit of a hear me out for you also?
I think they're a hear me out for everyone. I think I've ever seen
I think
anyone
so.
say. Mm, I mean, the entire point is for. I mean, if we're going for Silent Hill 2, the whole point is supposed to be like repressed sexuality. So a lot of things
Interesting.
are very kinky, which is why Pyramid Head is also built and oiled up at all times.
Oh yeah, Pyramid Head seems like a hear me out for people who are into that.
Oh, that's not a hear me out, Chris. Oh my god, hold on.
It's not. He's just a flat out. Okay.
Pyramid. See if I look up Pyramid Head fan art, I want to see what the first thing it comes up is. Do you know what these are? Actually, well, the first one that comes up is him standing next to a nurse. And with this art, he is like 13 feet tall, and his waist is closer to the nurse than any of the rest of him.
Oh,
Oh, yep, immediately scroll down, it's him. Shout out Chirpy Peach if you want to see sexy Pyramid Head art.
right. Yeah, we're plugging.
Well,
I want
he's
to note
plugging.
that a light just came on in this apartment I'm in that I did not turn on.
Is
That's
there,
creepy.
like, bomb sirens going off around you?
No, but I'll keep an ear
How's the wallpaper looking?
out. The wallpaper's thankfully not peeling and melting.
See, this is what happens when I have spare time. It's like the Texas Chainsaw episode. Now I actually know behind the scenes. The way they did the wallpapering and like the tiles flaking is they just put a layer of lard underneath the walls and tiles when they were putting them up, so you could just heat them up and put. Which
That's
that's
so
ingenious. How
smart.
do you how do you come up with that?
What the hell?
It gives like a nice wet shiny look to everything as well.
This movie looks great. A lot
It
of the
looks
stuff in
incredible.
this movie looks really nice.
Yeah, I'm looking up the budget for this film because if you made this nowadays, this is like 50, 60 million.
You probably couldn't remaster this, right? I imagine this was shot on digital.
2006, almost definitely digital. Oh, I called it 50 million. I was on ball for that. To be fair, a lot of it's also like real sets for. We didn't build that town, that's just a little town in Vancouver that was getting a lot of renovations we were allowed to use for a bit.
I had a note about how many shops there were in the town. That looks like a prolific town.
Well, I mean, you see the flashback at one point, and you see like high-end cars driving around the big hotel. So it's and
That's true, yeah.
okay, we're going into actual Silent Hill lore. In the games, Silent Hill is just a town you can visit. People stay there and people live there. Silent Hill just happens to be what some people see when they're in Silent Hill, but you don't have to be in Silent Hill to see the Silent Hill stuff going on. So Silent Hill actually is a bustling town that James and his wife used as a holiday location for the events of the second game. And also has like flowers that you can't get anywhere else in America. So it is like
So
a go-to spot.
it's like a source of a haunting, but it's not a ghost town.
No, it's not a ghost town, but there is. Fuck, this is going to be one where I'm talking a lot. It was built on the grounds of Native American burial sites after intense colonization. So there's been spooky stuff, and with the cult being there, there's a lot of people that go disappearing. I think at one point an entire boat full of people vanished.
Oh
I
wow.
don't.
They,
Yeah.
they vaguely reference that in the real world scenes in this in a way that is more confusing than anything because they say the fire broke out and then people were dying and disappearing left and right, which that's just a weird way to put that. You'd think you would just say so many people died.
Yeah, and then, but they make the point, it's like, oh, it's not, because presumably the fire killed the cult members, and that's why there's that ending speech where she's like, oh, it was the fire that you caused is why you're trapped here. But the gas just seems to be a separate thing that's also going on. Maybe that's just a lie from Officer Gucci to make people stay away from the town. But also, I don't know why it would then be abandoned,
I didn't take
or
it
why
to be a
there's
gas so much as just the fumes from the coal constantly burning would harm your lungs.
yeah, but did he not say like if you breathe that in for like a day you'll die? Which I think is a bit extreme.
It is extreme. I think he's exaggerating it, but I also think that that specific guy is going to die before he's 40 or 45 maybe. He looks like he's up there already, but I think that guy
So
has
what
some
Gucci?
fucked up lungs from that.
Well, I mean, Gucci's still connected to the town somewhat. He's still covering for that orphanage. So there's probably some
That's true.
dodgy stuff going on with him. The whole I don't. That's the one thing that I'm like. I don't know if Christoph just didn't understand, or if this was also a story decision on his part to change the town so much. Because Silent Hill obviously gets like it's common misconception that it is a spooky town. It's not. It's just a place. It's just three of the games happen to be set in Silent Hill, and it's called Silent Hill.
There happens to be a cult, and the people who go there happen to be part of whatever this spooky mystery is, but it's not directly related to the town, besides whatever the cult is up to, I guess.
Yeah, well, what the cult is, so I think it makes it more like a hotspot for that type of stuff to happen. If you catch my drift, because 4 is just set in an apartment building, and then this new one, F, is set in Japan, but also, okay, again, you can tell I've been listening
That's
to my
pretty
video
cool.
essay.
I like that it's set in a different country.
Yeah, the people were very upset about that not being in America, but there's notes in the game that could imply that the flowers from Silent Hill that grow that are a hallucinogen that work as an hallucinogen in the new game are being either sent to Japan or were growing in Japan and were going back and forth. That's only if you translate the the notes from Japanese a certain way and interpret that in a certain way. So it's all a bit fuckety. Silent Hill is just spooky stuff happens. I think that's the long and short of it.
Okay,
My main point in Silent Hill is just a town. It's not whatever this film had going on. You could go to holiday in Silent Hill if you wanted.
weird. What's
I think they
the
even had fun.
setting that your character is in the Silent Hill games? Is it in a ghost, like in this otherworldly dimension we see in this movie?
Yeah, well, there's the layers. There's like the real life that Sean Bean's characters in, and then there's the fog like cursed version, and then there's like the Underworld 9 Inch Nails music video version. And
Right.
okay, in the first fucking hell. Okay, in the first two games, the first game you crash on the way to Silent Hill and wake up in Silent Hill. Whether or not you died and then ended up in the Cursed Town is up for debate. 2, you go back to Silent Hill because some spooky stuff led you there and you're in the ghost town. 3, Heather keeps falling into the 9 Inch Nails world because they want her back to Silent Hill for lore purposes, and then 4 is just this man's bedroom that he can't leave unless he goes through a glory hole in his bathroom that leads him to the spooky world. I don't think it's set in Silent Hill. I think it's just somewhere in America.
Huh.
Are
Do
you following?
you, in the first two games, do you rotate? Do you find yourself in the real world and then also in
Uh,
the fog world?
no. From the start, you're just in fog, and then sometimes in the industrial hellscape world.
Okay.
I think. I think. It depends your ending. Endings also make a problem with Japanese video games. Nothing's ever straightforward. It's like it's a spooky town. How's it so confusing? Have you got any other questions to ask me whilst I'm still in my lore dump?
Yeah, does the third game take place mostly in the real world and then throws you into Silent Hill, or is that sort of a first act
First act starts
deal?
off in the real world, but you play of like dreams and visions of Silent Hill,
Okay.
and then you go to Silent Hill.
And then I was also wondering, you mentioned flowers that give you hallucinations. How much of the fog world is a hallucination,
I mean, it's
or is that
possible.
up for debate? Okay.
Well, I don't think there's no notion of I think any of our main characters ever actually taking any of the stuff. That just happens to be something going on in the background for some reason. You can
Okay.
also weirdly, if someone's in fucked up version of Silent Hill in the town of Silent Hill, if you're there in the normal version, you can still interact with them. Like you could still bump into someone, which this movie obviously does away with. It's
One more time.
much
People,
then.
you do bump into people that are in the real world Silent Hill, the normal town, while you're in the
Yeah, like
fog.
okay, say you're in Silent Hill and you're tripping balls, and you're in some
We
like
gotta have two different names for this. We gotta have Fog World, Silent Hill, and Silent.
okay, Silent Hill can be the town, Fog World, and then I think it's called the Underworld, maybe the spooky version in the game.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
that
go with that.
helps.
Okay, I could say I'm in Silent Hill and I'm enjoying a nice little vacation. You could be in Fog World and I could bump into you and you could be like, have you seen this like giant penis monster that's chasing me about? And I'd just be like, nah, mate, nothing to do with me. But I don't
Okay.
think you could be in the underworld and bump into me. I think that's
Okay.
like a little limbo stage.
You're closer
I,
to being in hell or death at that point, or whatever.
I mean, I think even each game has its own version of what everything is supposed to be. In fact, I think people have argued this for like the 30 years that the games have existed. But if we can go back to my main point, which I made like 20 minutes ago, is that what people think Silent Hill is isn't what Silent Hill.
Okay.
Should we actually talk about this movie
Yeah,
when you get
let's.
an interactive video essay from me?
Yeah, well, this is good. This is good context. I like knowing more because there's a lot clearly in this movie that is inspired and taken from the games pretty directly, just imagery wise, especially the music is just, it seems like directly lifted. So it's
Oh,
nice
it
to
was.
have more of an idea of it because the movie doesn't build out, it doesn't build out the lore of the creatures. The movie tries to give the settings a place in the story and in character. But the impression I get from the Silent Hill games and what you've been saying also is that all of the creatures as well are pretty tied into certain stories that people have experienced.
Yeah, the general consensus seems to be you will have your own monsters in Silent Hill. Like, even,
Interesting.
they may even be related. Okay, spoilers for, I'm
Yeah, shoot.
not going to be super specific about it, but the second Silent Hill game, there's a character that, okay, we're also going to get to trigger warnings for uh, CSA, who was sexually abused by their dad as a child. So they see some fucked up shit. But you don't see that. But what you do see is it's like a latex flesh bed with limbs and legs up and down, which obviously is supposed to be visually like representative of that. But apparently, what she sees is a more direct version of what you would see, because what you see in the second game could also kind of tie back to your story. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, vaguely. The only
Vaguely.
instance we get of that in this movie is again, yeah, I'll probably put another trigger warning before this episode, but the rapist janitor flicking his tongue around when we see Rose fall into the fog world in the school.
What a gnarly design.
Horrible, horrible, very uncomfortable.
I feel like if the people that made Hellraiser stopped fucking about, this would what is like what a good Xenobite design would look like.
Oh yeah, true. That's a good.
Because it's horrifying, and the sexual implications of that character are there, but it's not like a portal opening and Hellraiser invites like his vagina necked friend out to stand in BDSM gear. If you know one. I've
Uh,
have you
Vaguely.
seen the Hellraiser film?
I have. Yeah, repeat what you just said.
I said I feel that janitor is a better version of what you get in Hellraiser, because Hellraiser is supposed to be like sadomasochistic, pain, pleasure, hell, sex is all linked. But what we do is we go, okay, we'll just have a demon dressed in kinky clothes with a vagina for a neck. Whilst I feel the janitor, if you just saw him straight away, your brain wouldn't instantly go, oh, it's like emblematic of, it's supposed to in some way represent a sex offender. But
Yeah,
with that knowledge, you would be like, oh, that's so obvious.
yeah, that's true. Whereas
The
all the Cenobites kind of look like people going to a cosplay BDSM orgy.
Yeah, have you ever been? Oh, you wouldn't have been. I don't think you've been to London. You know, see the Doctor Who safe special when David Tennant's in front of that big weird shop, Cyberdog.
I don't know. I have been to
He's
London, but I don't know what you're talking about.
see when he meets Donna and he's got the presents on him. And he's in that little market.
Vaguely, I don't remember specifically what you're mentioning.
Well, there is a famous photo of him in front of a shop called Cyberdog. They sell
Okay.
clothes and sex toys identical to what you would see in Hellraiser. It's supposed to be a
That's
rave shop.
crazy that they put that in Doctor Who.
It is. That's why every time people ring up, I'm like, what was David Tennant doing kicking about that? It's
Oh, he's a
wild. You
handsome
go
guy.
in. It's because the first floor is rave, and then it gets like kinkier as you go down, and then the bottom floors where you'll see some you'll see some Silent Hill monsters that are apparently supposed to be used for fun.
Huh.
Like people bring their kids because of how famous it is. But I went. There was okay, so we've got it's like a nightclub. Right, imagine like an early 2000s, like the Matrix nightclub type vibes where it's dark and there's neon lights in that. There's DJ booths in the back, and there's someone in a full gimp costume on the decks, bossing it down. And it's like there's 6-year-olds in here. What is going on?
What the hell? Weird. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see this because I went to London with my mom, but I guess that isn't necessarily a preventative there. That's
I
weird.
mean, I guess world famous. Maybe she'd have wanted to have a beat.
Uh,
You just have to guard her from the third floor. Whatever you do, don't down the third floor. I've seen some wild stuff in my life, but my eyes were like, I could not believe the stuff I was seeing on that bottom floor. People get so
Wild.
imaginative.
Interesting.
It was a standout. Oh, they had Thor's hammer as a pocket pussy. So you
As a
you
pocket pussy, not something to sit on?
no, it
What?
was like pocket pussy's the, the stone, and then you can hold the handle.
Oh, okay. I figured that would be something vibrating that you'd sit on instead.
No, you'd think, but again, people saw Avengers, I guess, and started writing up plans. There was also
That's
like
so weird.
had a full Marvel thing on. There was Iron Man stuff. There was a bunch of Thanos things. There was a Rick and Morty Plumbus that I looked at and I was like, I don't, because I had it and I was like,
I don't need that.
what do you even do with this? Like I couldn't figure
I
out
don't
what
want to
was.
know.
I feel this is detoured.
It has it, yeah.
Just,
I wanted to mention, even if we're not going chronologically, I'll try to close off the beginning half of the movie or the beginning act. There's basically one thing I wanted to mention from getting to Silent Hill, besides how they definitely all die on the road. Uh, Laurie Holden, the lady who plays the cop,
Sybil
she would make a great Terminator.
wouldn't she? What
She
has
would
she
be
been in?
fantastic.
Chris,
She's in
what
The
has she been
Walking
in?
Dead. That's her big show.
Oh, she's from. Oh, that was annoying me so much that I kept forgetting to look it up.
Yeah, she's Andrea in The Walking Dead.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Oh, what a
But
cunt of a
she's
character.
also in I believe she's in The Mist because I'm gonna detour for a second into The Walking Dead lore. Frank Darabont, who produced the first season of The Walking Dead, he got a lot of his friends to work on that. I think below their normal pay grade. So he got her, the guy who played Dale, and who was a sheriff in The Blob, and a couple other actors to work on the first season and beyond of that show.
Did he not work on the first two seasons? But then we started to fuck with him midway through season two, and that's why the show kind of goes off the rails a bit.
He had plans for season two that they didn't use. As far as I know, they ousted him before season two really got moving. I think he was involved in production, but he did not get to be involved in the final product of season two, as far as I'm aware.
What was even the beef? I remember there was a whole situation where like they didn't want to do what he was doing, even though it was incredibly successful.
They wanted to cut the budget of it, I'm pretty sure, and he said, "Let's not. Let's just keep making this show as we should." And then AMC said, "What if we set the whole second season in one location so that we can save money?"
Oh, oh well.
I don't think it was anything reasonable or even understandable. It was just, hey, let's save some money on this. And he had ideas that weren't saving money. I
Oh,
think he had
writing.
an idea for the first episode of the second season where it would be about the military moving through Atlanta and it would end in the tank that Rick finds himself in at the end of, I think, the first episode.
It's interesting, but surely I'm
Yeah,
not big on my
and
comic books. I don't know where it goes in the comics for that though. Do you
I
have
don't
any
either.
insight?
Maybe, I could be a little bit off base because I haven't read up too much on this recently whatsoever. This is information from years ago at this point, but that is to my best recollection.
Yeah, because don't we have a problem where we fire the showrunner after every like season and a half because they
That
decide they
sounds
want to
right.
change things, and they're like, but
Yeah.
why? Anyway, okay, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Sybil.
We-
Yeah, she would be
Yeah.
phenomenal. feel
She has
like her,
fucking
her,
great vibes.
her genre of women you don't see anymore. I feel like there was a lot of in the 2000s that looked and acted a lot like her. They just don't exist anymore.
There
I
were a
think
lot
like
of actors like that. I think that applies to Radha Mitchell also. She was in Pitch Black and this, and then kind of disappeared, which was unfortunate.
which is strange because, well, I say she's really good. She's good in the second half of this movie. There's a weird thing going on in this film where I feel like all the actors are really bad in the first half, and then they all get really good in the second half.
Yeah, I can see
Especially,
that because
I
there's
don't
nothing
know.
for them to work off of in the first half, and they probably didn't play the games. They probably
Oh,
didn't
none of them played
understand
the game.
really what was happening.
Hold on, I need to pull up the letterbox of the girl that plays the demon, Sharon, and Alessa, because she's one of the worst child actors I've ever seen for about 20 minutes.
She's really bad.
And then she's really
Yeah,
good towards the end, especially when she's playing like Alessa in the hospital at the end, and she's speaking in this like almost unnatural human tone, but like everything's just so like slightly slower and slightly outdrawn. I don't know what was going on with that. Is like, I don't know, maybe she was just freaked out on set the first few bits with all these weird gimp suit men running about.
I
Hold on,
can
I'm pulling her up.
see she got to have more fun at the end. Maybe she understands a little bit more, at least, the idea of being mad at somebody, but telling a child to play vulnerable is maybe a tall order.
I think it's also her age doesn't work for how much they infantilize her in the beginning of it. When she's allowed to just, she gets away with it a lot more. It's incredible though. See the behind the scenes. I don't find kids cute at all. I hate them. I would rather kick them than let them anywhere near me. She's fucking
Oh my God.
adorable. She's incredible. She said the main reason she wanted to do this is because she wanted to play the devil in something.
That kind of rules. That makes so much sense then why she is really engaged with being a little shithead, but can't find it to be a scared child.
She's not got too bad of a filmography, to be fair. She was in the 2000s Carrie. She did a voice in Paranorman. She was in Cabin in the Woods, apparently.
She was in Cabin in the Woods.
She was in Cabin in the Woods.
Who was
I
she in
don't think
Cabin
you
in the
know.
Woods?
Um, Patience Buccaneer. Who's Patience Buccaneer, Chris?
Oh, is she one of the zombie family?
Oh, that would make sense.
Interesting. This is a demented kid.
Yeah, but she's so cool. She's got like the most energy out of anyone on set as well. It just seems like she's love it. Like she's even doing interviews where she's in her full like Alessa gunk outfit. Hold on, I'm pulling her
That
back
rules.
up. What's she been in recently? Not much recently. Her last thing was Twilight Eclipse. IP everyone, I suppose. Then that's a career in the toilet. Who
Who?
else have we got in the cast? Sarah Mitchell. Again, really bad in the first half, good in the second half. The church speech is a wee bit. Had a tiring day, to be fair. Behind the scenes, she was doing a lot on set that day. But the church is a wee bit rough. You
It's
see, she
rough. I don't think the direction helps in that scene either. It's a little bit, she has to, it's somewhere between her performance doesn't have enough juice and the directing and the blocking doesn't help her because people keep trying to stop her and then they move away from her. Then the mother superior says, grab her, let's burn her, and then people sort of cower away from her. She doesn't, that scene needed more sound design or more intentional blocking, or like you're saying, maybe somebody who could have thrown the juice into it a little bit more because it doesn't make sense why they keep backing away from her.
think it's we don't. I think you're right. It's a direction problem because we don't frame her to be taller than anyone else to gain space. Because she's not the tallest person in the world, and she's stuck in a crowd, and she's trying to come across as imposing. But she's surrounded by a bunch of like 6 foot tall actors that are supposed to slap her every 5 seconds.
This one guy who looks like Adam Driver.
The one that just stands in the background of every shot.
Yeah.
To be fair, that man pulled off that Amish look well. He was like the one that you look at and you're like, oh, you were definitely an evangelist Christian back in the day.
True.
Everyone
Yeah.
else is in panto. I think we just pulled him from some commune that they found.
Yeah, Rhoda Mitchell is 5'6", which is, I guess, normal actor height. But you're right that they don't. Oh, she was in Man on Fire also. I have to watch that.
Oh, Man of Fire's so good.
I hear only good things.
But she actually, we got her doing her own stunts on set as well. This is, again, behind the scenes. When you have time. The scene where, after the hotel, where they find the old abandoned church where they burnt Alessa 30 years ago, and she sees Alessa across like a bunch of metal beams that she has to jump over to get to her. That's a real drop and real beam. We just wired her up and let her go
Oh
at it.
shit. Okay.
My ass couldn't. I have no idea how you do that, especially in the outfit. Think how much like water weight she's carrying just in fake blood. I gotta say, my ass
True.
would have cracked my nose against one of those beams. I lost a tooth or some shit on
Yeah,
whereas
I
without
would
Chris.
die if I tried to do my own stunts. I'm not coordinated enough.
I think I could probably do. I feel like if I was in a film and they're like, we're going to do a stunt scene, or like you get punched or kicked, I'd be like, just punch me.
Yeah.
Why should we fuck about on set doing 60 attempts of a fake punch? And you're probably going to hit me a few times by accident anyway, and you could just clobber me once and we'll get it over with. If
Well,
I
it's because
get a
you might
bruise,
not
that's
get the
going to
right
work.
take or the right dialogue in, and then you're gonna have a black eye in the next take or filming the next scene.
Yeah, you get some
And
makeup on.
I don't
Sorted.
know. I see the logic in not doing that.
No, because this they were doing a lot of the behind the scenes about how I forget the name of the actor, but Sybil, the police officer, she was having a lot of fun doing her own stunts when it came to the scene where the miners are attacking her. And then I watched the movie again. And I was like, this looks like some high schoolers tried to make a film. You spent so much time on this. It's a situation
Yeah,
where
it
I would
doesn't
just be
look
like,
great.
can you just hit me? I don't get why is it framed like it's the Matrix? Why are we all doing like spin kick and turn? Surely you just jump
Although
their ass.
she hits one miner in the back of the head and caves his skull in, and blood spurts out. That's pretty good. I
Did
like that one. I have to
you,
note that the cat I'm cat sitting for is now sitting with her butt on my neck and using my phone as a scratching post,
do you tell me this
as
call
cats do.
might end at any moment if that cat decides it's all over for us?
I'm saying that might happen. I'm really doing my best to make sure that doesn't.
Chris, you said earlier you were talking about the monsters and you're like, the CGI is good but noticeable. Scene, do you think were CGI?
I mean, the first most obvious is, and I want to ask what you think the representation. All right, this cat needs to get away from the phone. Of the little like ghost children.
Of the Grey Child, what they called it on set.
Yeah, at the very beginning.
See, that one is interesting because it's a very much a thing, sequel, reboot, remake, or the second thing is where the practical effect insane, and then for some reason they just replaced it with the little CGI baby. See, this is
Why?
you say I don't know. In fact, like,
It's like the Thing remake. Why would you do
the way I from what I can get of Christoph, seemed to want to do everything practical, so I can only imagine it was higher up. And CGI is very popular right now. Try and put some in, but
That's so stupid.
okay, if we're
That
gonna
was
go
the thing
through,
with the Thing 2011 remake is that they did a lot practically and they got to like the editing room and people said this doesn't look like horror movies look right now. It looks wrong. So put CGI in it so it looks like a horror movie.
Well,
which is
yes,
crazy.
it's stupid because now the thing is when people go see a movie, they're like, this better not be CGI.
Yeah.
Like the one thing they hope for. But for me, I
Update.
took it as
The phone was where the
yeah,
cat wanted to lay down, so I moved the phone, and now the cat is okay.
okay. We have communication issues sometimes. We know
Yeah.
English kind of causes issues. But I
Yeah.
the design of the the only one that I don't think would have any meaning is the second encounter. But the third one, they said behind the scenes the intent was just a child, but it looks like their skin is stretching backwards, which works a lot more in the
Oh my God.
practical effects than it does. But I don't really think it's supposed to be particularly emblematic of anything specific. Like obviously you could do the motherhood theme route that's going throughout this film, and obviously Alessa was bullied by all the other kids. Those kids had to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Killing was
these are
too
just
much of
other
a
kids that
stretch.
got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, all the kids that were bullying her in school. I thought it would make sense.
Mm.
The second monster, I have no idea. I don't. Do you have
Is
any
this the
interpretation?
penis monster that we encounter that spits acid?
Yeah, penis monster.
Does it spit acid in the games?
Yes, yes, it
That
does.
felt very random. Okay.
Oh, that's a Silent Hill 2 monster as well, actually. But you got
That
any
felt so
interpretations?
random to have a monster that spits acid and then have that not come back. The idea of acid.
Well, that monster, CGI or no? Chris, you with me?
Yeah. CGI or no? Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah.
It looks more practical.
See, I
I
thought
figure they put some
for
CGI
sure.
over it.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was CGI, but it's not. It's completely practical. Even the acid is practical. And
Oh
the funny
wow.
thing is,
Okay.
you called it a penis. It's a giant condom that they used for it. They just built a foam suit and then had a giant, essentially a giant penis condom that was stretched
Oh,
over the body. And then they stuffed some tubes in it
wild.
so you could spit acid out the chest.
It's like the full body condom from the Naked Gun.
See, when I think full body condom, I think that photo of Matt Pat at the beach.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You don't know about Matt Pat? You don't.
No.
Hold on, I'll find you a Silent Hill creature as we go on. Who do we encounter next, Chris?
What do we encounter next? She runs away with the handcuffs on. Is this the janitor that we encounter next?
Well, it depends. You could also be the miners, I suppose. They're not really monsters, but they are antagonists, I suppose.
Sure, yeah, the miners, and then they set down a canary, and then the canary freaks out. Uh, and we see these miners getting eaten by cockroaches, right? While she's running around.
Yeah, big
Rough.
locust. There you go. I've
And
got
these
fun
locusts
fact.
have little
You've not seen.
faces on them. I don't know what's going on with these guys.
Yeah, they're little baby, little like baby bugs. Yeah. Again, I have in my notes a little fun fact here. Miners did actually use canary cages to detect carbon monoxide rates in mines. If your bird started to die, it meant it was too poisonous and you had to get out. But in real life, we didn't have just a little cage. It was actually really cool. It's like this airtight box thing with some gaps to let the air through so we can sense the monoxide. But there's also an oxygen tank. So if our birds try to die, we could just release a bunch of oxygen and revive it.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay, I knew about the canaries, but I didn't know about all the little accoutrements that they had for them.
Which is sick because and it also ties back to toxic fumes that are burning under the city. So it's works for both the miners from down there and bomb sirens. Otherworld is coming. Also check the chat message. That's Map Pack Human Condom. He looks scarily like a Silent Hill monster.
Oh my God, he does a little bit.
If we just made him fleshy, like with a few veins.
Yikes.
Be a terrifying voice to hear in the darkness. Matt Pat stumbling
Yeah.
towards you.
And then After the locusts, also we have Pyramid Head, right? He comes in.
Yeah, Pyramid Head's so sick.
I
I
wish we
don't.
got
I
him
think.
chopping someone to bits with this sword.
Yeah, well, we get a better kill later on, but this is like one of the ones to habit where people are like, "Oh, we don't get that that's supposed to be for James," but in the movie world, James doesn't exist. So I sort of was like, he's just an executioner, essentially. The town judged
Yeah,
on whether or not Alyssa should die, and that's a representation of that.
at some point he gets summoned by Alyssa's mother.
That's what she was doing
So
with
he
her
feels like
fingers. Oh my god. Having my
that's
notes is
what it
like she
looked
does some
like
weird
to me,
finger
at
point.
least. Yeah,
She
I
gives
think
her
she
like
was
a
summoning him as if he's sort of the wrath or the vengeance that is being enacted on the town.
yeah, but Anna the cultist does it back to her, which is what perplexed me. Because like Delilah gives her a like a little the pink one and the stink symbol, and then Anna turns and does it back.
Oh,
It's
I
like
didn't
they were
notice
having
that
like
she does it back.
it's like a little
Interesting.
mind battle going on between the both of them.
Huh.
Which the relationship between Anna and Dahlia is the funny shit to me every single time. Dahlia pops out, Anna's just chucking shit at her, and she always just has shit. I don't know where she finds it. It's
It's
like even
horrible.
when
She
they're
throws a
running,
rock at her head.
yeah, but it's like they're running for their lives into this church, and then Dahlia tries to, and then just suddenly whap,
Yeah.
Anna stood there. Church. Earlier, I think she throws like a
What
soup tin.
relation what relation does James have to Pyramid Head?
Um, well, you first see Pyramid Head raping a mannequin monster.
Oh.
So it's also like violent sexual tendencies, which is it isn't as fun as the movie version. It's gonna
No, it's
put a
not.
downer.
How do we meet Anna in the movie? Anna is the sort of redhead lady.
Yeah, well, we bump into her throwing shit at Dahlia in the hotel.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm like. She somehow got a soup can. She's pelting at her. Poor Dahlia's just taking it as well.
And then she joins up with Rose and Sybil for a moment.
Yeah, I found this weird. Why do we have like a little Avengers team up? Because Anna and Dahlia both tag along. Even though Dahlia doesn't have to, she's safe. And Anna should, like, or what's the cult leader's name? Is it's something Bell?
I don't remember,
Christabel?
I'll be honest.
Well, the cult leader, she's like, oh, after Anna's death, she turns and she's like, well, it's not new people's fault. Didn't follow her rules. She went out alone. She wasn't doing anything. So the only reason she would be out alone is she's found a soup can and she wants to pelt it at Dahlia.
Christabella.
Christabella, thank you, thank you.
I found it interesting that Laurie Holden is in this and The Mist also, because Christabella reminds me of the crazy Christian lady in The Mist.
I feel like it was just a thing in the 2000s. Like weird religious cults.
I guess so, yeah. There's a lady
Like,
in Midnight Mass who's pretty reminiscent also of these characters.
yeah, I was getting a very similar Midnight Mass. So that's what I was thinking when I was watching this. I was like, see if motherfucker, what's his name? The guy that makes
Uh,
all the Pete Corner stuff. He made Oculus. He made
Mike
Doctor Sleep.
Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. I feel like Mike Flanagan would fucking kill a Silent Hill series.
That would rule, yeah.
It would probably just be the hunting of Hill House in a town. Completely.
Yeah, it would be. Because he already kind of
Eh,
has the vibes or the idea of it.
mm. Also, fun. Well, I was going to talk about the church, but I'll go back a bit. The knife scene with Pyramid Head, again, stunt work. That's a real big knife. And they really were trying to duck out of the way of that during some scenes.
Are you serious?
The
Wild.
Holden, there was an interview where she's like, yeah, it's kind of scary because I really have to know my timing or I will just get hurt.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like, wait, you could have just used, well, if we were really cutting through something to film the door getting stabbed, I feel you could have just used some styrofoam, man. Like, I don't think you had to be doing all
Yeah,
that. Big bit of
no,
plastic.
just use
So
styrofoam and then use like a big wooden sword or something.
it's probably more fun on set, though, isn't it? Knowing that this man's
Yeah.
running up.
That's the
I wonder
thing
who
is,
has
even
that.
in these movies where they edit in the CGI over the practical monsters, I think it still shows that these actors were in a room with the practical effects. It still affects the performance in a positive way.
Like the even again for 2006, it's really fucking good CGI. The room transformation scenes. There used to be a thing in Silent Hill. We stole it from the film, and it looks fucking awesome.
There's a great
Like,
shot when Sean Bean is in the town proper, where he's in the school and the camera follows him down a hallway with lockers, and it transitions into the fog world where Rose is crying up against the lockers. There's
so,
good camera work in this movie.
yeah, I feel like this is. I would put this as a good movie. There's obviously issues. I would still say it's a good film, but I feel like if you just got a
It's
better writer and
yeah,
poor Christoph, the man seems like a sweetheart. But if you got someone who was maybe more experienced trying to do something like this, you maybe get.
this is like a solid 6 out of 10, I'd say.
But I suppose it
There's a
depends
lot going on,
your
but it's
preference.
also pretty empty for a lot of it.
Yeah, for us major writing issues, we see it in the behind the scenes. You, I feel like they did it on purpose to slight him, but there's an interview with Christoph and an interview with the writer where Christoph is non-stop talking about how it has to be like the game. People don't like it when you change stuff. The game's perfect. I don't want to change anything. And then it keeps cutting to this cast writer who's going, well, actually, people wouldn't like that, so I kept trying to change things, but try to keep the spirit of the game. And it's like no one else on fucking set wants you to change shit. You're like 4 foot tall, and you're trying to change everything just because you don't fucking
Totally.
like it. He was pissing me off. He was like very like
So, is this
2000s
writer
new
why
metal.
why the movie takes so many liberties with the game's story?
I would assume so. I'd imagine if Christoph had his way, it would probably be 1-to-1, barring the Harry change. The Harry to a mother change is the only thing that he was like, yes, I wanted this to happen. And I think he mentioned, okay, oh, this will tie back well. The cult, the way Alyssa and Aaron's soul get split is similar in the game, but it's its own cult trying to birth a new god, using the daughter as an incubator to birth the god. It's nothing to do with like Christianity or witch burning or whatever, but it works in the film. Christoph was talking a bit about that, and I was like, yeah, I feel like it's a lot more streamlined rather than having to go and we this child and we made her like an oven to birth a demon man, but then also that child became two children, and like I feel who gives a shit? Rest of the Silent Hill movies, rest of the Silent Hill games barely take any of that.
The
It would be
movie
cool to see
doesn't
the demon,
make a whole lot of sense. The cult, like what their objective is. It feels like they're trying to prevent what's already happened. They're already living in hell, basically.
yeah, but is that not the point? Bella's she's using like she knows she's fucked, but she's using the fear of everyone else in the church to like keep herself in a position of power.
Yeah, it makes sense for Christabella specifically, but the cult and whatever their objectives are doesn't make a lot of sense. I wish we got an idea of what they're doing with their time, I guess.
I was going to say I think they're
Because
just
all we
scavenging,
see them do in this movie, I guess so. Yeah, because she does say we're scavengers by nature. I guess they're just surviving.
but it's also one town that's been 30 years, so it's insane that they would somehow still be eating, unless time's a bit funky, because none of them have really aged either, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess we can just assume time is kind of fungible here.
Well, I mean, if
So what do we have? We
dimensions are
have
funky.
we're in Silent Hill, or we're in the fog world again, and I think we're running to the church now, right? Because we met Anna. She's with Sybil and
Yeah,
Rose.
we got Alyssa gave Rose the small exposition dump in the thing, and then they're like, "Oh shit, the sirens sound sick, but the sirens are coming. We all need to go to the church because that's a safe place." This is where we get the one pyramid head kill. As far as a juicy kill,
It's
good god,
crazy.
the the way
It's
the
upsetting,
skin,
genuinely.
it's like she's a napkin. The way he just bunches her. And to be fair, Anna was a dickhead. She did break 30 years of this cult's rules just to go throw a tin of soup at this mourning old woman. Didn't actually do it. Like, she followed the rules. She gave him her child, so I don't know why they hate her.
I think just because Christabella is saying to ostracize her. It's interesting that she's still alive. I guess she's just protected by Pyramid Head and whatever else is going on.
Yeah, because that's what they say. They're like, well, you're her mother, so she wouldn't hurt you. Which is why I think whenever Rose is in immediate danger, the other world seems to just go away conveniently.
That's
Because
true.
that's
Yeah.
Sharon's mother. She's like, well, fucking.
It's interesting that Sybil is able to stay alive up until that point, up
Simple.
until reuniting with Rose.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, she
The
did
the
have a
cop.
gun, and then when we see her again,
That's
she's
true.
got one clip left. So I imagine she's probably been unloading as she works her way through
I wish
town.
we got to see some of that. That sounds fun.
Oh, Chris, I'm so man. I can feel the congestion building up.
Oh no.
It's
All
just
right,
the end for me.
let's breakneck through this a little bit more. This is the first of two church scenes that we get. This is Anna dies, and then we get sort of introduced to the cult and what they're up to. Rose memorizes the map. Sybil goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Rose goes, I need anything. I need any information." She's being a video game character right now. She's looking at this thing. She's jotting it down in her little mist or blueprints notebook.
And it's so good.
I'm
Oh, Chris,
astounded that she memorizes this.
it's such a video game movie. See the amount of times they go into shit and they're like, "Oh, we have to search these drawers. Oh, we found a little clue. Oh, this is a useful item to keep on us. Oh, this resource has
There's a
ran out."
great bit when Rose is running around the town. She just keeps looking at these bus signs telling her how to get to the school.
Yeah, which the bus map seems to indicate that there's only a single road in that town. It's like you go up, then left, then up, then right, then up, and then you're there. And it's
Yeah,
just
it's
like a little
funny. There's
squiggly
only the
line.
one bus route.
Yeah, when Rose is at the hospital later on trying to look at this map, it's like, alright, there's 6 floors, and these floors are split into two, and then these are all number coded with a letter code behind them. But
It's
this
a real
path,
video game ass school.
and there's fucking puzzles and shit as well. Like you get to janitor, and she's like, you need to get the thing out of his mouth, and that leads her to the hotel later. But
That's
there's also
true.
when you get to the hotel, she finds Alyssa's drawing in a ducat to indicate, oh, she should go up into that room. Also, Christoph made a big thing about whilst filming it, he wanted a lot of angles that would replicate the fixed like camera angle that you would get in the games. They never mention it once, but you see it in the background of a clip. To the walls of that fucking set, you can just slide and move. They had a brain with a camera in it going through a wall at that scene where Pyramid Head's attacking them in the bed, and I was like, that's awesome. And they just never mention it. Uh, Chris, I'm so congested.
Is it Dahlia, the mother of Alessa?
Yes, Dahlia.
Uh, there's a scene, I don't think we're exactly there, but just in the interest of keeping moving, there's a scene in, I think, the hotel where the miners finally find, oh God, I don't even remember the name of, not Alyssa, Sharon.
Yeah.
Where the miners finally find Sharon. There's a fantastic shot where the camera moves from the street through the window into the room, but it's not a steady dolly shot either. It's moving up and down and left and right. There, there's some directing I do really love in cinematography.
And it's strange because he's like, Christoph Gloyle isn't the best director, and then he's just pulling out these like incredible shots out of his arse. So much shit in this film that you're like, well, that was impressive. I don't know, maybe he just needed like someone on set to help him. I don't know if he had, I'd assume they probably had a cinematographer on set for maybe town shots, especially like the intro shot where she's walking across road around the mountain and it pans to Silent Hill town. It's beautiful and it's on the movie poster.
Oh shit! Oh wow! Yeah, the
What
cinematographer for Silent Hill worked on John Wick movies, has worked on Guillermo del Toro movies. His
don't mind
name
me
is
saying,
Dan Lauston.
what's
He
his
worked on The
biggest piece
Shape
of
of
work done?
Water. The Shape of
Oh,
Water, I think, is his most notable.
no, see that makes sense.
John
That's where
Wick
you're getting
Chapter
these
2, Crimson Peak.
beautiful shots from.
Yeah, definitely. But it says
Even
something about a director to trust them and to let them do that and make it through the editing room also, not cutting those shots up because there's a lot of good long takes.
uh, from what it seems behind the scenes, it was incredibly collaborative. Like even the guy that played Pyramid Head he was a dancer, but he was also helping. He hired the dance crew that would be the nurses because he
The
knew them and
nurses,
he knew.
right?
And then we also had a dancer for the Grey Child, so he was on set coming in to try and help her because she couldn't see with the mask on. It just it this is like it looks like one of the most fun sets ever. So I'm thinking about 2000s. The sets always looked incredible. I don't know if it's like propaganda from the DVD and Blu-ray companies trying to make Hollywood seem amazing. Maybe it's just 2000s were a happier time.
I'm sure that's a bit of it, but you can still find stuff like that. There's special features on The Invisible Man Blu-ray with Lee Winnell, where he does a like a director's diary. He'll record himself talking on set about things. The special features for The Invisible Man are really good. I'll recommend that one to somebody.
I love. Did you ever see? There was an interview with Lee Winnell. I don't know if it's a podcast where like he didn't really want to do the Invisible Man. He wanted to do Wolfman, and then they were like, "Can you just do a script for us?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he just whipped the Invisible Man out of his arse like on a whim, so
Wild.
fast.
Have
And
you
they were like, "Oh,
seen
we love that."
Wolfman? I haven't seen it.
It's not right. It's okay. Some
It's
like it's
crazy
not
that
offensive.
that's the one he wanted to make and it has the reception it has.
Maybe when he's under like restrictions, he's better because I mean, him and James Wan made Saw under restrictions, and then there was that he didn't really want to make, but was forced into, so he can make Wolfman.
That
I've
makes
not
sense.
seen. What was his sci-fi one? Was it Upgrade?
Upgrade rules. I love Upgrade.
I hear good shit about that. I feel like that's also
He
like, does he not stretch
There are
a
these
small
camera
budget
shots
on
in
that?
Upgrade. You can see these shots as well in The Invisible Man, but there's these camera shots in Upgrade where he puts an iPhone on on the actor in an action scene, and then he locks the camera on to the phone on the actor, so it follows them in this really inhuman way. It comes out really well.
But that was like a super small budget movie, was it not? As well, it makes sense if he's using
Yeah, that's got
iPhones.
to be like 20 million. I don't know if that's like crazy. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I was gonna. You're beating me to it.
Three
What's it
million
for?
dollars
Like,
is insane to me
holy sh!
for Upgrade.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it. How's that 3 million?
I'm calling it right now. We're gonna do Upgrade next week.
Oh, is that what we're doing? That's good because that's
That's
one
what
I've
we're
really
doing
wanted
next
to
week.
watch.
Yeah,
I feel
because
like
I love Upgrade.
is it? Okay, get me if I'm wrong. Is it not similar to like District 9, but he's becoming more robotic rather than more of an alien?
That's an interesting way to put it. The other thing I've heard people say is that it's the better version of Venom, if that helps you understand a bit more.
Okay,
Which I guess
Chris,
District 9 is a little
Pete,
bit.
Pete, what you said there, because you glitched out, and then that entire sentence was just gone. I'm going to need to remember this.
People, because Upgrade came out the same year as the first Venom movie, everyone was saying Upgrade is the good Venom movie.
The good Venom. That's a really interesting.
I don't disagree.
Strange. Is it not like?
Yeah, it's cool.
Do you feel District 9 is too non-horror doing this at some point?
I think we can make horror is such a specific thing that you can take elements from. I can't think offhand of what we did right now, but we've done, like, Take Shelter is a family drama with some horror elements in it. So I feel like we could stretch District 9. I wouldn't mind that.
I suppose all the Predator movies are really action movies anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna dip our toes as long as we're mostly doing mainly horror movies. I don't think there's any problem dipping off into these movies with horror elements.
I mean, it's also our podcast. We could just whip out Monty Python one day on Hunts and be like, well, we've decided.
Yeah,
You don't
because
have
there's
to
a
watch.
bunny, there's an evil bunny in it.
There is Tim the Sorcerer as well. And there's a three-headed ogre. Someone gets their arms and legs chopped off.
Yeah, and this discussion about practical effects there. I think it could all tie in at some point. Horror is very central to the human experience, in my opinion. There is very little media or even things that people experience that don't dip into horror at some point.
Okay, well, we'll have to do District 9 at some point.
Anyway,
So that's, yeah.
I'd love
Back
that.
to what were we talking? We were talking
Yeah,
about
back to what we're talking
Fred,
about.
Vin, Lee Winnell. We're working backwards. What were we talking about before Lee Winnell? Oh, fun
You
set.
were talking about the fight scene that Sybil has with the miners. That's sort of where
Oh
we're
no,
at in the movie
brother,
right now.
I was way. I was talking about that like 45 minutes ago.
You were, but let's just move on from there because she gets beaten up. It seems like she's dead. She gets beat up a lot. She takes the bar out of the elevator. Rose falls down. We already talked about the nurses. And then this is where we break into, she gets past the nurses, and we get a scene that starts to feel like the architect in the Matrix. It's just bright white light, and she meets Alyssa, who gives her the
Oh,
flashback.
yeah, I was about to say, well, she doesn't meet her at first. You just kind of has an exposition dump given to her, which, if you were following the plot of the movie, you should kind of already know. Anyway, I suppose it's good for Rose to get clarification on events. This is. Do you know what's strange? I watched this like 3 days ago, and then I watched it again today, and I was like, "Oh wait, shit! She teams up with Alyssa." For some reason, every time I watch this movie, I forget about it. We get burnt. Alyssa looks charcoal man. It's like, you ever seen that the paint that they made that's so black, like, sucks the light out of stuff? They must have painted this child's body in this to do the burning scene.
Oh my god.
I like that
Yeah,
they
it's
somehow
it's grim.
they pretended that a child could take that and then live for an undetermined amount of time in the hospital.
I think you
You
have
could,
to assume that there's
yeah.
already something supernatural happening. That the vengeance of the town is sort of living or helping Alyssa live through that. Because yeah, she would, even Sybil, who is the toughest person in this movie, gets a little burned and dies, as a human should.
See, again, behind the scenes, was a real fire, and Sybil's actress was actually tied to a ladder that they held over for the scene. And apparently, it was
Oh my
terrifying
god.
because all those little like wooden rods, a lot of them were also metal. So she's like, "Well, if I fall,
Oh,
not only am I on fire, I'm impaled."
that's horrible.
See, there's something about
Okay.
I don't know if it was the danger of 2000s movie sets, but the adrenaline kept everyone on the up. Because like, I would do a movie set where like someone could beat the shit out of me, and I'd be okay. But if you're like, I'm going to strap you to a ladder and hold you over a fire with metal stakes poking up, I would just say no. I will. You've made a body double for other people. Why am I required now? But we get the Alyssa teams up with Rose. Fair fucks. See, if I met Alyssa and she was like, "Oh, they did this to me. I just went in their church." I bet, yeah. She's really not the villain of this movie. It's just the church.
Yeah, no, completely. And
Because,
this scene is sort of where that all becomes clear.
but like, I think it's supposed to be framed as like they're both bad, but like, because they're like, oh, it's the vengeance of or the evilish demon took over. What was the line? It's like, oh, your fire doesn't cleanse, it only blackens, and it's like she's still kind of chill though. She's not hurting her mum.
She is.
Talks to
There's
Rose
two
fine.
things at play here, which is the nurse who's still in the room looks really distraught when Alyssa absorbs into Rose, and that's sort of the only notion that the movie still gives you that Alyssa is a bad thing happening. But from what the movie's saying, Rose is already dead. It's she's altering herself and she's making herself like an invincible, horrible monstrosity, I guess, by absorbing Alyssa and letting this happen. But it's not like she could have gone back home if she didn't do this. Nothing is irreparably changing, really.
And also, why'd you fuck up her caregiver? I feel like it doesn't really work when it's like, oh yeah, it's her vengeance attacking everyone. And then there was, it were like, oh yeah, it's the one nurse that decided to stay with her and help her. Like, it's because she looked at her, changing her bandages. How did she not
Yeah,
look
I
at her
mean,
before?
that's what. Is it Alyssa that's doing the exposition dump here? Because somebody says even this nurse just got hurt for being curious. So I think it is supposed to be like the untamed vengeance of a child lashing out. She doesn't know how to
Yeah,
regulate herself.
yeah, it's Alyssa given the, because Rose asks her who she is, she goes, oh, I go by many names. Right down the
Okay.
darker side of Alyssa. Technically, this child actor is playing three roles, playing Damon, Alyssa, and Sharon, which, to be fair, two of them are also the same person. I digress. Um,
Well,
yeah,
she's
so we get
playing one of them really well.
the one you see in super overexposed flashbacks for a few seconds. We
Yeah,
need to, kid sick as a villain. That actress just get her to play any villain.
yeah,
Imagine
really.
being 10
It
years
makes
old and you
sense that
have
she was just
Laura.
one of the zombies in Cabin in the Woods.
So final church scene. We've already talked about Rosie's little speech about how it's your religion that's caused problems. All you do is burn things you don't like. Turns out it's a bit on the nose, but off Christoph, I suppose, or whatever that little edgy writer that didn't want to listen to anyone on set. Um, what did you think of the barbed wire Venus flytrap? And Alyssa does get in the church, like
Is
hospital
this
bed.
this is after Sybil gets burned, you're saying?
Yeah, because well, I mean, we talked about Sybil getting cooked.
Yeah, okay. So she's like the underworld is raising up into the church at this point, right?
Yeah, because
Well, we
oh
talked
wait, wait,
about Rose walking through the people and making her big speech. We didn't talk about her getting stabbed, which is a good moment.
yeah, and it seems like the churchgoers kind of go, "There's a uh, fucking oh Mitchell and Webb skit that are we the baddie?" It's like
A
for
little
some
bit, yeah.
reason they 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 burnt multiple children alive, but this one time that the woman that comes in running screaming about how the church is evil gets stabbed, they're like, ah, maybe we shouldn't have done that one. But yeah,
They don't
I d-
linger on it enough, I don't think, because they have Christabella defending herself, but nobody is really accusing her that much.
Yeah, what do you do in that situation? You've been there 30 years. Can't pack your bags and go, can you know?
Yeah. No, you're kind of just you got to stick with it.
I suppose if you found
Uh,
maybe Alyssa's ghost without the demon, could try apologising. That's like, I mean, you're placing your bets on that one.
yeah.
Um, yeah, sweet.
Christabella's comeuppance is very hard to watch and feels bad, but it also, you didn't facilitate necessarily the abuse of this child, but you perpetuated it. You didn't give her any course for healing. You just let her live in this trauma. So it feels not just and or proper, but
Oh, she
earned
was the one that
in a messed up way.
led her to being burnt, so I would say it's very just.
Well, she didn't lead her to being assaulted by this janitor, which is what this feels to me like a comeuppance for, because she gets, what she's saying, God give me the strength to stay pure, and then the barbed wire finds its way inside of her body before ripping her open. It feels like a direct response to Alyssa suffering this sexual trauma.
She cut off. Are you here?
I cut off?
Yeah, you cut off for a second there.
Oh, well, this is, it just feels like a direct sexual reference to the experiences that Alyssa has had. And it feels like a response to that, which makes me uncomfortable. But I understand the parallel. And it's nice to see this crazy lady get ripped in half.
See, for me, I took it as I know I think I'm kind of clutching at straws here, but I thought it was more like we were continuing the motherhood theme because like the tendrils kind of rip out of her womb and breast area before shredding her.
Interesting.
I feel like maybe if that was what they were going for, we could have added a little something to the script.
It,
Um,
it's, I wish it were more drawn th- to that because just the imagery of her being assaulted by the barbed wire, it reminds me of the Evil Dead in that it doesn't feel necessary. It feels uncomfortable in a way where I question if that's how you should have done it, but it still is visceral in a way that works.
and it's insane because that scene in the Evil Dead's like popular for being well, I wouldn't say popular, but it's notorious for being a bit out there. This came out a long time before it, and I would say it's much worse. I
A
feel
long
like
time
for Evil
before the
Dead,
remake, you mean, right?
yeah, because it was 2012,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And this is 2006.
Yeah, I think so. 2013, the remake came out.
And I feel like the Evil Dead one that's more supposed to, again, it's like going back to the. Oh, it's a strange. You've got like a wee trilogy on the go. You've got Hellraiser, Silent Hill, and then Evil Dead for like demons being connected to like sex in some way, shape, or form. Because with
I
the
guess
Evil
at
Dead,
least the Evil Dead remake has the original to fall back on. They're trying to put that in a different light or remake that because the original it does just feel like they decided to do the most messed up thing they could possibly think of.
I feel like that's probably what we've got with Silent Hill as well.
Yeah, which I don't like. If that's how they came to that idea, I don't think it's appropriate or really, I don't want to say unacceptable, but I just wish they had drawn more parallels or any sort of thematic ties to that imagery. Like you said, if motherhood was to be a core theme of the movie, and if it really was going to be, someone should have hired a woman to create this somewhere because I like that the characters who have the most agency are women, but it sounds like every person who made a creative decision on this movie was a man. It just doesn't And we're not the right people to talk about this ultimately either because of that, but it doesn't feel like it ties itself together or really finds purchase the way it's trying to.
Well, I mean, I feel like the way they do it in here, I know you take Terrifier for example. I think Terrifier is maybe worse in this regard. I feel like just due to like even the previous Pyramid Head death, they are just kind of pushing the kills to the edge extreme. Which I mean it's 2000s, that's just kind of what you went on back in.
What we didn't
I think
mention about the Pyramid Head kill is that he strips her clothes off before taking all of her skin off, which also is a little bit gross. I don't like that.
yeah, I don't know. It's a strange decision. I don't know, maybe we're trying to tie it back to um like Silent Hill 2 being like hardcore evangelist Christians, the sexual repression theme. But it also could have just been this fuck ass writer with Beefworth going, "Oh, we got some titties on screen, lads." And then everyone's just going, "Yeah, sure, if I'll get you sharp about changing things." I don't know, I've
Yeah,
got beef.
I don't
Any
know.
problem with this movie, I'm just going to blame on that man. Just because he rubbed me the wrong way during that one interview.
Sure, I'll
Even
take
any
your word
future
for it. I
films we
haven't seen
do,
this interview.
if I get upset about something, I'm blaming that man. I'm going to find out who this writer is.
I guess we'll know more after this new movie comes out, which I assume we'll cover on this podcast at some point. We'll be able to judge more fully where Christoph was coming from
Yeah, it
or
seems
what
like
his
this new one,
contributions were.
unless Konami, Konami were fucking assholes for like 2 decades there. For some reason, they're seeming to be a lot more laid back and allowing people to do what they want to do. Like they gave Silent Hill 2 remake the Blooper team because they were clearly fans making a lot of Silent Hill similar games, even though they definitely were not the studio to have given it. They made a lot of quite bad Silent Hill S games, and then somehow they pulled that out their arse. And then I think F was a new team that they pulled together, and then they gave some weird live service company like a Twitch streaming thing that was shit, but it was like a weird experimental
Weird.
make your own decision thing. And then they made a little short like teaser game. Konami's being funky with it, so I don't know when it if say this was 10 years ago, Christoph would not have had any creative decisions whatsoever in making this second film. Now I'll just have to see on the 23rd of January, I suppose. If it's
I
bad, I'm
guess,
going to
yeah.
blame Konami. If it's good, but I mean, furthering your point, you kind of can't do Silent Hill 2 without a lot of sexually violent stuff. We'll see how that comes together. You could also, before I cover it, I suppose you could play the remake. I have the remake. I've just not played through it yet.
Yeah, you had
Oh,
meant to, right? Before this, but didn't have time.
yeah, I was going to play the original because I got the original, but can
If
with
it
watching the
helps,
behind the
even if you
scenes.
don't get to it before Return to Silent Hill, we still have Revelations to cover at some point. We can just use that as an excuse to talk about the games.
You want to cover Revelations at some point?
I don't know. Well, we could just cover the games. We're not just a movie podcast. We just have only explored the movies so far.
Good God, if this is how long we take on a movie, I'd hate to see the length of our video game ones. At least all horror
Same,
video games are
yeah.
fairly short. But there's also like the
Yep.
us trying to get a hold of it because you can't really play Resident Evil 1 properly unless you're playing the old one on the GameCube. But in 2, would you go OG Resident Evil 2? Would you go RE2 make? And in Resident Evil 3, remake is barely a game compared to Resident Evil 3. And then you can't play Code Veronica on anything.
I think they're trying to remake that.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. If a horror game comes out, like, we need to go, like, we're going to be playing that anyway. I feel like that would be a good tester for it.
Yeah, that works for me. I
Anyway,
think we're
well,
pretty
we've got,
much
we've
at the
got,
end of this. Not Adam
yep,
Driver gets squished by the barbed wire. I should mention that.
He does. I
She's
like that
squeezed like a
Rose
balloon.
grabs Sharon and just goes, "Yeah, we'll just hide in this corner." I'm sure that'll be.
Yeah.
Alyssa comes up and seems to stare longingly to the eyes of Sharon. I take it that's supposed to be is she still possessed or not? Do we know if maybe the spirit has now left Alyssa and moved on to Sharon to try and escape Silent Hill? If that was the plan, well, fuck, that didn't work, did it? Because it seems, even if you leave, where did they say this was set? Was it like, where is it? I have in my notes. Hold
Is
on.
it in Wisconsin?
It was somewhere fucking Jupiter. You're like, where would you
Virginia,
say
maybe?
the town is there? West Virginia.
Yeah.
And my final note is they escape West Virginia, but seemingly cannot escape West Virginia. West Virginia follows them home. The end
Creepy.
shot's
The
really,
creepiest thing in this movie.
oh yeah, the very final shot with her looking out the window. That's like some.
Not just her looking out the window, but this is the only time. There's 2 points in the movie, or three, where I like Sean Bean's character being around, which is there's one scene where she runs through him and he turns around. The the instances where they cross paths literally. That happens. The scene where the camera is following Sean Bean through the school and it transitions into the foggy world. And then this final scene where she comes home, she's staring both at through the window, but seemingly at where her husband is sleeping on the couch. He wakes up and turns to see her, but sees empty chairs, and then he walks over to an open door. And I love this shot of the rain falling on a bush outside their home. I felt like sort of symbolizing rebirth or the cycle of life, that there's always something growing.
Yeah, but is she not looking out the window behind the bush in that scene?
I don't
Or
think
am I,
so
have I
because the
went
bush is
insane?
at the front door. They've gone through the front door into the living room and sat in chairs that look out the back of the house because that's the direction where the couch is, where Chris is sleeping.
I must have been seeing shit, because I thought for sure. Hold on, I'll pull it up whilst we're talking about it, but I thought for sure you could see her in like one of the house windows. Like not very clearly, but like standing there. And I don't. The ending of this gets retconned and put anyway, because it's clear Rosie's actress didn't want to come back, so we have a 2-minute scene with fuck, what's the dad called? Christopher? Where she's like,
Chris,
oh,
yeah.
I couldn't leave Silent Hill, but the door opened for a little bit, like the demon was sleeping, so I snuck her out, and then apparently demon is still in Silent Hill somehow, even though that was kind of the whole point of the end of this movie. Oh, the sequel pissed me off in many, many, many different ways.
I couldn't finish it when I tried to watch it years ago. It was really bad.
Oh, here we go. I'm at the house scene, coming in. We're buffering. Good God, Rose is just caked in blood by the end of this.
Yeah. Well, that guy gets squished in front of her by the barbed wire, and that does a lot of it.
I think the main of it is when she's trying to work her way through the bobblehead nurses and they're all stabbing each other.
That too. Yeah. I've been playing Claire Obscure with my roommate, and that has a great effect of people just getting covered in blood through fights.
Okay, it's pissing me off. My streaming thing is loading to the bush, but it will not load. There's definitely there's a window behind that bush, and I don't know if that's just a reflection or if that's supposed to be a silhouette.
Oh, I didn't
It
notice
looks
that.
like
That's interesting.
it looks like a silhouette. Because I didn't notice that first time watching, and then when I was watching it before I joined Javert, I was like, if that's a silhouette, that's like one of the creepiest shots I've ever seen in a fucking movie. It's like the old. You remember when the internet was first kicking off and people would Google like caught in photos, and it was always like in the reflection of someone's window in the back.
Oh, right, yeah. Well,
Gives
I
a
love
similar vibe.
that too because if that's a silhouette in a window behind the bush, then the rain and the bush symbolizing rebirth becomes something much more ominous.
See, this is where I wish
Like
I had
Alyssa will find her
commentary.
way back to the real world.
See how I thought I had commentary on this? I don't. It's
Yeah,
on the fucking French Blu-ray,
interesting.
and only on the French Blu-ray.
Weird. Is it
There
in
was
French,
also,
I guess?
oh well, if Christophe's French. Maybe he just wanted to. Maybe whoever was making the English Blu-rays were like, no one wants to hear a Frenchman speak.
Damn.
Fuck, I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I also came. I was trying to do research for this, and I came across a Reddit post 7 years ago, and I think it was in France as well, where we were like, oh yeah, I remember I watched Silent Hill in the cinemas, and there was scenes that weren't in the Blu-ray that I watched, as were an extended version, and there was a few people in the comments saying, yeah, I think I remember hearing about a more messed up, but it's just it seemed to be anyone looking into this. If there was like maybe a rough, not a rough cut, but like a slightly longer cut, but was accidentally sent to some screenings, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know, interesting.
what
We
would
need
be
to
in
keep
that?
our eye out on. I think maybe just more viscera, I'd imagine.
Okay.
God, these end credits are sick. We 3D animated Silent Hill. We're going for a bunch of wee creepy shots.
I hate the music on them.
Oh, the J Rock.
It's a little too rocky. That would be good over the crew credits, but I feel like the transition is a bit too sudden from something more maudlin.
I mean, a lot of the Silent Hill soundtracks are very rock focused.
That's fair. I'm not too familiar.
You should. There's people made playlists of the act song that aren't weird deep throaty noises, like ominous noise tracks that will sometimes make like a metal ding every 2 minutes. If you get it's some good J rock. Well, I say as someone who doesn't listen to J rock, but it all sounds pretty fucking fire. I think
I
the
do
same
like the
guy.
soundtrack. I've listened to some on Spotify recently.
Well, I mean that little tar riff at the very very beginning of the Silent Hill intro is like maybe the coolest noise of any video game ever.
Hmm.
Sounds like it's just like a mandolin, a wee speedy drumming. You know what I'm talking about,
Okay.
don't you?
No.
No, Chris. This wee thing goes ding ding. Every video essayist that talks about Silent Hill uses. I was thinking if I could put it in the intro of this, but I was also like, well, I don't want to get us copyright strike.
No fair. Yeah.
I'll send you it when this is done. But it's heat. It's only like 20 seconds, but it's my favourite noise of any video game ever. I love that little guitar.
Okay.
It's
I'm
so
excited to hear it.
non-horror-y. Is that us done? I think that's us
Yeah, I think
finished.
so. Let's closing out for Silent Hill. Next week, join us for Upgrade from I think 25th, 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
I think that's a more
Email us
obscure one.
at theuncannyvalleypod@gmail.com. Follow us on The Uncanny Valley Pod on Instagram.
Not the AI
Get in
one.
touch.
Or the AI, I have to say this every time. There's
Yeah,
two.
no, you'll see. It's the same. You see our artwork. It's the same artwork.
What else? We've got that. We're setting up YouTube some point in the new year. Not the first week of the new year. It is New Year's. I will be wrung out my arse. But in the weeks following, I'll have some spare time to try and fight with that.
Yeah, we're working it out on YouTube.
Working it out. Yeah, I thought we've got some beef with them.
Yeah, we're beefing with YouTube. We're beefing with Google.
I
They
mean,
know
we
what
are
they do.
beefing with them. They still haven't approved us for YouTube Music, haven't
Yeah, I don't know why. We're doing what they ask.
Maybe we need to try and get in contact with someone somehow and be like, what's going on with this? I don't think we've said anything
Might
too
as well.
controversial yet. Talk about penises and balls a lot, but that's like as far as we'll go.
That's pretty standard for a podcast.
Just standard penis and balls.